Another chapter, another check-in. Let's get into it. 2026 is here and we are on that new you, new me energy. Just kidding. No, we're not. We're not doing the new year, new me thing anymore. Because at this point, 2026 does not need a new you. It needs the real you, the authentic version of you. And so, what we are going to talk about today is all of the things that we're leaving behind so that real you can prosper and do her big ones with whatever hand gesture you want, like smokes and something. Listen, we are going to do our big one this year, and it requires us to leave a whole lot of behaviors behind. So, without further ado, let's go. Okay. Something stupid big happened in the headlines this week. It was announced, I think via TMZ, that Christy Sarah and her husband Desmond were going to be getting a divorce. Listen, I feel like the internet is always shocked when real life reveals itself because you're so used to seeing these glimpses of these perfect couples. And when it all falls apart or when life happens, which it's going to, the internet is in a frenzy. But I feel like my thought process was very different than what most people were thinking. And so that leads me into my very first section, very first part of this video, which is letting others' opinions take the wheel. My first thought was, I hope that while they're moving through this process, I hope that while they are separating their lives and closing a chapter and dealing with whatever trauma that has brought them, I hope that while they heal this situation, that their own opinions are louder than anybody else's. So the first one, again, letting other people's opinions take the wheel. Because at the end of the day, regardless of if we did something wrong, something right, something neutral, we are the ones who have to face ourselves in the mirror every single day. And everybody and their mama is going to have a think piece, and everybody and their mama is going to have a TED talk about how you should be running your life. And at the end of the day, none of those things matter because the only person that can change your life is you. When it comes to you creating content, starting a business, losing weight, wearing what you think is cute, doing your hair the way you think is cute, trying a new makeup style, evolving, changing religions, losing religion, whatever it is that you think or you feel strongly about and you feel strongly about doing or being, I hope you do that without allowing anyone else's opinion to bring you down. Some of y'all aren't burnt out. You are just overstimulated by carrying the weight of 600 different people's opinion before you even had breakfast. What do we do when we wake up? We open our phone, we start scrolling, and there is what? Facebook and everybody's political opinions, and everybody's grandma wants to talk about Trump and all these things that are going on, religion. And it's like everywhere you scroll, everywhere you turn on social media, you're met with opinions that rage bait you, opinions that make you sad, that make you feel like, what freaking type of world are we living in? But what is that doing for you? How is that helping you throughout your day? Spoiler, it's not, boo. Spoiler alert. Sorry, it's not. It's not helping. It's not being productive whatsoever. If it is costing you your clarity, it is too expensive, even if it's trending. Even if it's trending. So at the end of the day, be mindful that only one opinion matters in this life, and it is yours. It is what you do with your opinions of the world, your opinions of yourself, that shape this external world that our perception is creating. So, yeah, That was number one. The next one is over explaining and seeking permission. We are no longer over explaining and seeking permission in 2026. And what do I mean by over explaining? Well, friend, I am so glad you asked me that. Feeling like you have to convince people that you changed. The urge to overpackage growth so people don't misinterpret it. How we shrink to feel relatable, even if we betray our own authenticity. Let's revisit a childhood story, The Ugly Duckling. A story about someone who didn't realize they were a swan simply because they were surrounded by ducks. He kept trying to fit in, prove his worth, explain himself, when in all actuality, he was in the wrong environment the entire time. You do not have to shrink your growth simply because it makes anyone feel uncomfortable. And I feel like that is something that I learned this year in feeling like, or this past year, in feeling like I have to prove that I've grown. I have to prove that I've evolved. I've got to make sure I'm carrying this, I'm walking with this, I'm modeling this behavior so you know that I've evolved and that I'm grown. And that's stressful. Like, that's a lot of weight to carry in a random one on one conversation. And number one, if you are surrounded by people who expect you to do that, remove yourself. Number two, it is not your job to convince anybody anything. I'm done giving TED Talks to prove I've changed. It's real big on I said what I said energy.
I said what I said.
And then letting your actions do the talking. Because if you've really changed, the proof is not in the paragraph. It's in the way you move and in your peace. Next up is staying in cycles that drain you. I'm talking relationships, habits, and environments that don't match your growth, but you stay for guilt, nostalgia, or survival. Do y'all remember the movie Moana? She loved her people, but she knew without a shadow of a doubt that her island was dying. And no matter how she felt, staying put meant staying stuck. So she left to restore the heart of Tafiti, and all was great. She was afraid, she stepped out on faith. The beautiful lesson in that movie, because her father was so obsessed with her staying because he was afraid, love doesn't always mean staying. Sometimes it means growing in a different direction. That can be relationships that you've outgrown, and the truth that not everyone is meant to co-write in your next chapter. Some people aren't toxic. Some people are just tied to an older version of you, and then when you grow, that connection naturally weakens. And every time you override your own peace for the sake of history, you lose a small piece of yourself and who it is that you are becoming. It's really important to remember that not everyone from your past, not every experience that you thought was going to be long lasting is actually a part of your purpose. And when you get that gut feeling that says, it's time to move on,
Gotta put me first. I gotta put me first. I gotta put me first, Lucian.
you can't allow fear, you can't allow circumstance, you can't allow complacency to keep you stuck, especially if you have faith in something. When we feel stuck, that is actually signaling a lack of faith. I don't have faith that these things can work out. I don't have faith that I'm going to be okay. I don't have faith that if I let this job promotion go, there's going to be something better. It's really, really important for you to understand that through this cycle of life, there are things that you are meant to grow from, and remove yourself from anything, anyone, any place that is draining you. This one is for my movers and my shakers, my content creators, my entrepreneurs, my moms. You are prepared. You are just moving in fear. So, my next topic is self doubt disguised as over preparation. we're leaving it. You do know what to do, friend. You are just afraid of finding out, shit, I'm actually ready. You use research, perfect timing, and planning as distractions, the fear that you give your all and still fail. And then what? A good example of this is Issa Rae. She started her YouTube show, Awkward Black Girl, with no fancy setup, no expensive cameras, lighting, nothing like that. Fast forward to now. She created the show Insecure, built a brand, and changed the entire face of TV. If she would have waited to be ready, we would have still been waiting on her. Starting scared is better than not starting at all. I'm going to say it again. Starting scared is much better than never starting at all. You are not unprepared. You are just uncomfortable with your own potential. And you have to realize that. You have to understand that and decide it's no longer going to hinder your progress anymore. So when you say, I'm waiting for the right time, ask yourself, or am I waiting to not be scared anymore? Because that day, it may or may not come, friend. And for the final thing that we are leaving behind, not bringing it to 2026, living in the past or living in the future. Most of us do not live in present day. A lot of us either reside in the past or rehearsals for the future. And both of those lifestyles rob us of the only place that we can create real change right now. We replay failures, embarrassments, old versions of ourselves. Listen, friend. I can replay a bad version of myself or bad situations or circumstances that I put myself in like nobody's business. Like the brain be on rewind, Bookie. Rewind, play, rewind again, pause. Ugh, that was gross. Why did I do that? Like it it becomes a lot. And then the reverse side of that is obsessing over future what ifs and how in the heck am I going to make these things happen? Neither which is me living for today. If you have seen the movie Click with Adam Sandler, his character gets a remote that fast forwards through basically what he feels like are the boring parts of life: promotions, arguments, aging. But what starts as convenience literally ends up in the movie as devastation because the remote begins skipping automatically and he starts missing all of those beautiful in between moments with his wife, with his kids. His wife ends up hitting it on him. Like she ends up leaving because he's never present. And that's exactly what happens to all of us when we're either living in the past or in the future and never fully existing in our present. I've lived entire seasons of my life constantly revisiting a version of myself who flaked, who fumbled, who failed. And when I wasn't stuck there, I was time traveling into a future that I hadn't even built yet, micromanaging my dreams before I'd even started. And the crazy thing is, I thought I was being productive, when actuality, I was really just rehearsing fear. The only place you can actually change your life is today, right now, in this moment, in this body, with this breath. So stop allowing your life to pass you by. Whenever I see elderly people or people who have lived their lives discuss what would they do differently, I feel like oftentimes they talk about living in the present, not constantly looking for what's next. Oh, once I have more money, then I'll be happy. Or once I have that job promotion, then I'll be happy. Live for today. Because if we stop focusing so hard on the past and we stopped obsessing so much about the future, we could work on perfecting the moment. And this, like we've said so many times, is where everything changes. 2026 does not need a new version of me. It just needs the present version of me, the one who finally feels like she absolutely deserves to be here, not for what she's done, but for who she already is. So, yeah, if any of that hit, I hope you sit with it, not to shame who you've been, but to support exactly who it is you're becoming. We're not rushing, we're not performing, we're just choosing to show up real, one layer at a time. And if you're building in this season too, hit subscribe, drop a comment, or share with someone that you know needs to hear this. This is just the beginning. Till next time, friends. Bye.